Have you ever noticed? Your income has increased over the years. But your financial situation hasn't really changed. You're earning more than you did before. You're more responsible. More experienced. And yet at the end of most months, you're still left wondering where the money went. Not in a dramatic way. Just quietly, consistently, disappearing. Let's slow this down with a very normal example. Imagine someone living in a mid-sized US city or somewhere in Western Europe. They're 30 years old. Working a stable job. Earning about $75,000 a year. After taxes, healthcare, and deductions. They take home around $4,500 per month. On paper, that sounds comfortable. Now let's walk through their life. Rent or mortgage, $1,800. Utilities, internet, phone, $350. They need a car, not luxury, just reliable. Car payment, $450. Insurance, fuel, maintenance, $350. At this point, they're at roughly $2,950. Then come the everyday costs. Groceries, $500. Eating out occasionally, $250. Subscriptions and small digital services, $100. Now we're at $3,800. Then there's debt, which is very normal. Student loan payment, $350. Credit card minimums or balances, $250. Now the total is about $4,400. Which leaves around $100. And that's before anything unexpected. No emergencies. No travel. No major shopping. Just a normal life. At this point, most people assume the issue is spending. Maybe they think, I need to cut back. I should be more disciplined. But if you look closely, there's nothing extreme happening here. This isn't reckless behavior. This is a perfectly reasonable lifestyle. And that's exactly where the problem is. The system is designed to feel affordable, while quietly preventing progress. Each expense makes sense on its own. A safe place to live. A reliable car. Basic comfort. Some convenience. None of it feels like a mistake. But together, they create a structure where your income is already spoken for. Before you even receive it. Let's isolate just one part of this. The car. $450 payment. $350 running costs. That's $800 per month. Over 1 year, that's $9,600. Over 5 years, that's $48,000. And that doesn't include the opportunity cost. What that money could have done elsewhere. Now add housing. An extra $300 per month for a slightly better apartment. That's $3,600 a year. $36,000 over 10 years. These decisions don't feel significant. Because they're spread out monthly. But when you stretch them across time, they quietly consume large portions of your financial future. So why does this happen to people who are otherwise careful and intelligent? Because this isn't about knowledge. It's about adaptation. As income rises, expectations adjust automatically. You don't consciously decide to inflate your lifestyle. It happens gradually. You move to a slightly better place. Upgrade to a more comfortable car. Spend a bit more on convenience. Each step feels justified. And socially it feels normal. In fact, it often feels like progress. Because externally your life does look better. But there's a quiet trade-off happening underneath. You're converting financial potential into fixed expenses. And fixed expenses don't disappear. They stay. They demand attention every single month. Which means your future income is already committed. Before you've even earned it. Now stretch this out over 10 or 15 years. Your salary increases. Maybe from $75,000 to $100,000. But your lifestyle evolves alongside it. Rent becomes a mortgage. The car gets upgraded. Spending becomes more refined. From the outside, everything looks stable. But internally the structure hasn't changed. You're still operating with very little margin. Still dependent on consistent income. Still unable to step back or take risks. And most importantly, still not building meaningful financial leverage. Financially aware individuals don't necessarily live extreme lives. They don't avoid spending completely. They just approach decisions with a slightly different lens. They understand that the real danger isn't spending. It's locking yourself into spending that repeats every month. They see fixed costs as long-term obligations, not short-term comforts. So instead of focusing only on whether something is affordable today, they think in terms of duration. How long will this stay in my life? What will this cost me over time? What flexibility am I giving up in exchange? Because flexibility is where financial strength comes from. Not just income. When you look at your finances this way, the problem becomes clearer. It's not that your salary is too low. It's that your structure is too tight. There's no space. No room for error. No room for growth. No room for compounding. Everything is already allocated. And that's the quiet reason your salary disappears every month. Not because you're careless. Not because you lack discipline. But because your financial life has been shaped into something that feels stable, while quietly preventing progress. Once you see it, you don't need extreme changes. You just start noticing which parts of your life are costing you more than they seem. If this helped you see your finances a little more clearly, you can subscribe for more thoughtful conversations like this.